Alex, thank you very much for joining. I'm really glad that you found time while you're in London to come to us as a guest. Maybe let's start with a bit of introduction. You're well known as a fintech entrepreneur with a number of successful projects. Maybe give a bit of introduction of a bit your background. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for inviting first of all, and actually it's super excited when you travel and have the ability to speak, to talk to some people,
Yeah.
and especially on this format because then you are super focused and nothing disturbs you when
Sure.
you're on the camera.
Yeah.
So my name is Alex Rud. I'm from Ukraine, and for the last 3.5 years I'm in fintech. Before I was in the investment,
Yeah.
I was head of investment fund in London. We were investing in space projects,
Yep.
and then at some point I decided to quit and build my own project in space. But to build it, I need some money. So I
Yeah.
was looking for the way how to make huge money,
Yeah.
and I decided that fintech it's something like banking and fintech. It's something
Yeah.
where I have to go, but banking it's hard to enter, and fintech it's something which I can do as a young entrepreneur. So
Yeah.
I decided to start the crypto company in Europe,
Yeah.
and currently I'm the co-owner of fintech called xPaid.
Yep.
So we work with crypto, we issue cards, we issue IBANs, and actively expanding.
That's cool. Amazing. So you said spacetech that you wanted to do after the fund.
Yeah,
I think I read something about it in some magazine, Forbes or something. Can you tell a bit more about spacetech? Because I don't know too much about it.
yeah. I think it's something which gives me a lot of energy and motivation,
Okay.
and the desire to discipline myself because I have this huge goal somewhere far away, and I have the reason to wake up every day. And
Yeah.
even if I have some troubles in my companies, I still, I have the reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So I think I have this attraction to space from childhood because my
Yeah.
father was in the army
Okay.
in Kazakhstan.
Nice.
And he was actually delivering fuel to rockets because they
Wow,
have
didn't know that.
Baikonur,
Yeah. Baikonur, yeah.
the place where they launched the rockets in
Yeah.
Soviet Union. And he was actually like he witnessed the rockets, how it works. And
Launching,
yeah, and he has from his army has like a album, and
Yeah.
he has pictures which he drew
Really?
he drew by
That's
himself.
nice.
And he always like was showing me those rockets. And
Yeah.
I still remember when I was super young, like 3 years old. Of course I couldn't read or
Yeah.
write, and but I was able to draw the rocket
Nice.
when I was
That's
young.
cool.
And then I had the ability to join this venture capital firm. First of all, I was like a project manager, and
Yeah.
then, but in less than 2 months, I became a head of the fund.
Nice.
And I learned already a lot about technology because
Okay.
space, it could be something like some fantasy, or I know some movies, and
Yeah.
but there is another part which is the technology, the rockets itself, the space, the investigation, and a lot of different things. And I was able actually to learn what's happening in terms of the technology.
Nice.
And when I was working in the company,
Yeah.
we created the AI, which helped us to collect each company from internet, which is working in space sector. And we did it for the first time.
Cool.
And
That's what a lot of VCs are trying to do now, like kind of a database of startups.
yeah, it's very
sector.
important if you want to, like to decide where to invest like after. You need some data, and we had we had this data.
Yeah.
And we were able to create a kind of mind map.
Okay.
It was segregated into different sectors, R&D, governmental projects.
Yeah.
And this mind map was also posted later by American Forbes.
Yeah.
And by the author,
Amazing.
which is like he decides what to post. You never negotiate with him. He is well known in American market, exactly this guy.
Yeah.
And he posted us, and because it was him and in American Forbes, he gave us a lot of attention, later.
That's cool.
And then Ukrainian Forbes also interviewed me. Then I got the article in Polish Forbes. So like it was like nice experience, yeah.
Amazing.
And I want to get back. but my plan is to get at least 150 million dollars on
Yeah.
some exit or on revenue each year from my
Yeah.
company, and after that I'll go ready to space to build
That's
some
amazing.
rockets to take tourists to space.
That's amazing. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can imagine probably space tech is very consuming in terms of like finance and everything. It's pretty
Yeah.
hard. But it's interesting that you mentioned Kazakhstan because I think now Kazakhstan is doing also really well in terms of like space tech. I know one founder from there, Daurian, and he recently fundraised for his project, I think in US or something. I don't remember. But Kazakhstan is also like pretty active in space tech now. So it's just interesting starting from Baikonur till
Yeah,
now. That's
but
cool.
because it comes from Soviet Union that
Yeah,
you had
exactly.
those Ukraine. It was like the one of the centers for engineering,
Yeah,
and Kazakhstan because they have the launch place.
true.
So now some people try to renew because they have some engineers, they have some patents, and they want to keep like
Yeah,
monetize it now.
of
So
course.
that's what happened in Ukraine. And what's interesting, by the way, when I was working this fund, I met the son of Buzz Aldrin, who was
Really?
who was
Nice.
together with Armstrong
Yeah.
on the moon,
Yeah.
and so I know personally the son,
Wow, that's amazing.
and he was studying in Ukraine, in Dnipro city.
Really?
Yes, in 1980 something. He
Wow.
was there. He was living there. He showed me some pictures,
Yeah.
and he's also like, and he told me like, if you will have any company,
Yeah.
you let me know. I will help you
course,
with
yeah.
connections, and he has a lot of
Yeah,
different
of course.
connections.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Man, that's interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool. Okay, so and for the fintech, I have a question. Like a lot of it's a very strong industry. Fintech. It's like in London, it's like the most investable field. A lot of founders they are kind of scared of fintechs a little bit because it's like you need to compete with the banks. It's like super kind of high
Regulation.
end service. Yeah, exactly. How did you like decide on the fintech exactly? Because you knew that like it's your thing that you can make, or is it just like was just I don't know some numbers game?
So basically, crypto is the answer. So I see crypto as a part of fintech world as well because it
course.
solves some big problems. If we talk about crypto as the way to do payments,
Yeah.
and I just decided to start working with crypto. And at that point, I already knew about the problem of sending payments to China, to America,
Yeah.
to Europe. If it's not domestic but international, it's
Yeah.
always challenging because
True.
it's expensive, it takes time. And some people who were importing goods from China to Europe, they were sending those SWIFT payments, and
Yeah.
sometimes it takes like 4 days. Sometimes they lose the
More.
payment.
Yeah.
They have to pay at least $100 for the payment, which is huge.
Yeah.
So I decided that I will start the company, and I'll try to solve those challenges with crypto. So that was the idea, and eventually I wanted to come to a bank, but of course I have no idea how I have to start. But
Yeah.
crypto was easier because it's something new. You can read something, you can talk to someone, and it's easier to enter. And I just decided that I will start a crypto exchange because it's something simple.
Yeah.
You need. Basically, you need some balance in fiat currencies and
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies, and then you exchange it
Of
to each
course.
other. So it's simple.
Yeah.
And basically, that was my first step.
Nice.
It was like a small exchange where you can buy USDT
Yeah.
with Ukrainian hryvnia,
Okay.
and that's it. Nothing else. Even no license, because in Ukraine there was no licenses.
Yeah.
And then ready after 4 months, I applied for my license in Europe, and step
Nice.
by step I was developing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you have any competitors back then already, or was it just like first like new thing in the market?
A lot of competitors, yeah.
Yeah?
I didn't pay attention to all of that.
That's amazing.
So I didn't do any analytical research
Yeah.
or something, no analysis. But a lot of exchanges. I think
Yeah.
more than 1,000 exchanges in
That's
Ukraine
great.
at
Just
that
in
time.
Ukraine.
Just in Ukraine at
That's
the time,
crazy.
and of course more in Europe. And because currently there are almost 2,000 licenses in Poland,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
more than around 1,000 in Lithuania,
Yeah.
and of course dozens of thousands in the entire
Yeah.
Europe.
Can imagine.
So I didn't pay attention. I
That's
just
good.
decided that I will start, and this
Yeah.
is my strategy. I don't really
That's cool.
pay too much attention to something if I want to get some
Yeah.
experience to get some connections. You have to do something.
That's
you don't
true.
have to plan. You just have to start, and then eventually,
Kind
you'll
of
find
shape
a way.
where it goes.
Yeah.
Man, I totally share this approach because a lot of founders, they ask me like, oh, like what competitors do you have? Or like, I have too many competitors, I don't want to create another startup. And it's like the competitors is the best proof that the market exists. Like if there are competitors, it's good. If you believe that you can kind of shift the industry, you need still to go there. And I 100% agree on that the same strategy we used at Yotewo. Like there were quite a few competitors. We just sort of niched down a little bit, but still didn't care about that.
Yeah.
Like, totally.
And then anyway, you have to learn the industry, and then maybe you can come into blue ocean strategy, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that you can do this from the beginning. Like you have to be there.
Trial. A little bit,
You have to get some resources, some knowledge, some
Exactly.
customers with whom you'll be
Connections, yep.
testing, and then after that you will find a way. But
yeah.
but you have to start, and there are plenty in each business. You have most of the competitors. They already, like, it's easy to compete with them because
Yeah.
they got some niche, they got something, and if you are starting, mostly
Exactly.
like probably you'll be super active,
Yeah.
proactive, and you will overcome them.
Of course.
Yeah.
I 100%. I love that. I 100% agree on that. So that startup, the first one you launched in Ukraine, right?
So xPaid started like as the exchange
Okay,
in Ukraine.
Ukraine. Okay.
And then later I got the license in Lithuania.
Okay, that's fine.
Also, it was like I had no clue where to get the license.
Yeah.
Like no clue, and I had no one in my team, among my partners who were in this sector before.
Yeah.
So I just were talking to different lawyers, and they advised me something, and I was like, okay, Lithuania,
Nice.
because I remember it was like Czech Republic,
Yeah.
Spain, Malta,
Okay.
something else. I was like, okay, Lithuania is close to
Yeah.
Poland, because
Yeah,
at
it's
that time
pretty
I was in Poland, and I like,
Yeah.
let's start, let's do it there.
Yeah.
But then I was luckily it was a good place for a
Yeah.
license, and the reputation of this license, of the Lithuanian license, was getting better and better and
Okay.
better, and now it's considered actually to be a good one in European Union.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And then the Paytion project, you launched it in Poland already, or somewhere else?
Yeah, so Paytion, actually I acquired a part of the company.
Okay. Tell me about it. Tell me a bit more.
So I met a guy, and he was telling me that he doesn't have enough customers. And
Okay.
at that time he had physical exchanges in Poland.
Okay.
And it's also called Paytion, and Paytion app, which was the
Yep.
mobile application where you can store cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
and you can issue card.
Okay.
But card was ready only as the functions, but not the
Mhm.
card itself. You
Yeah.
had to go to some providers,
Exactly.
connect MasterCard or Visa, and issue. So it was not ready till the end.
Okay.
And he was complaining that he doesn't have enough customers. And my strong part is business development.
Yeah.
And I said, let's work together. I have customers,
Okay.
and because I have the exchange, people are coming to me to exchange something physically. Also,
Yeah.
I don't have this in my company. I said it could be useful.
Yeah.
And then I was planning to launch my own card, a crypto card. So
Okay.
it's like you deposit Bitcoin, let's say, or USDT, and then go to Starbucks
Mhm.
and pay, and it's automatically converted.
Okay.
I was planning to start it, but I tried, I failed, I spent
Okay.
some money, and then his application was almost ready. So we agreed that I will acquire a part of the company,
Amazing.
and it happened like a bit more than a year ago. I
Okay.
acquired the company, a stake, and in 2 months, the physical exchanges became profitable already, because it was not.
Yeah.
So it became profitable.
Yeah.
And the mobile app, I changed the business model. We are not going retail anymore.
Okay.
We are selling white label solutions of our application, and we help people to connect card providers. So basically we sell B2B,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is, in my opinion, more safe and easier and less money, because you don't spend that much on
Of course,
marketing. Yeah.
Amazing. That's great. I didn't know about the acquisition thing.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
So the company, actually, it's 5 years old already, so which is good.
Okay.
And the company itself even. So I got the company,
Yeah.
and
It's
because of
profitable.
that, it was not profitable. I made it profitable, and
Yeah.
because of that, I can tell now that the group, the age of my group is more than 5 years.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
before it was only 2.5.
Yeah.
When I was acquiring, it was 2.
Yeah.
But when I got it, I connected it together in one like
exactly.
hub, and
Cool.
now it's 5 years old. So
That's
it's also
amazing.
another advantage. I tell everyone
That's
that I
great.
have already
5
5 years already. Yeah.
That's great. And my question on that was like, so the first one was in Ukraine, this one in Poland. Now you're launching Afixpay in the UK. How was the difference across the markets in terms of like, just working with people, like working with customers? Was it like different or kind of similar? I mean, at least Lithuania and Poland, maybe.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Yeah, and European Union, of course, it's super different, like
Yeah.
everywhere. And Poland is very similar to Ukraine, I would say, in terms of how they make business. Of course, the market is bigger because people are, they have more money.
Yeah.
But it's very similar. Like what does it mean? The regulator doesn't really know too much about fintech.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's not. But
Yeah.
you have less restrictions.
Yeah. True.
Lithuanian regulator is very advanced because it's one of the biggest places for fintech since 2018, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
And they are somewhere close with UK in terms of the number of licenses they issued.
Interesting.
So yeah, Lithuania is a huge hub, and of course it's more difficult. And even now there is new law in European Union about crypto. It's called MiCA or MiCA, and Lithuania is so hard. I spent already 5 times more in Lithuania to go through this regulation than in Poland.
That's crazy.
So there is these differences, and but happily now this new law it made my life simpler because I can have my license, let's say in Poland, and I can do passport in any country. It means I just basically like register my company there, but in any country,
in
Germany or Spain, and I can provide services to local people, but with Polish license.
It makes sense. Yeah.
So now it's easier, and
That's great.
it will save a lot of money right now. But UK, of course, it's already because it's super advanced. A lot of companies and countries and regulators, they are using UK law as the example.
Yeah.
And so you have to be super prepared to this market.
Okay.
But when you have a license here, it gives you a lot of trust.
Okay.
You don't have problems with banks, like because if you have a Polish license, you go to a bank to open an account and they're like not really happy with this.
Yeah.
But if it's a UK company, they are like, it's a good jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So of course it's for reputation, for status. It's nice.
Yeah.
In terms of the market, again, I didn't really investigate the local market, but I want to use the license here to work with big players like MasterCard and Visa, and partner with them. And when you have everything in UK, because of the good law, it's easier to partner with them. Because if I'm going with Polish company, they're like, okay, like go to some Eastern European department and something and talk to them wherever, But if I'm here, some top people are, who are in charge of those decisions. So this is more like a strategic move. Why I want also to expand some operations here.
Amazing. That's good. That's great. Now let's touch point a little bit on the Paytion. On a difference about xPaid and Paytion. So xPaid, I think that's your most favorite, I guess, project. Most probably.
It's a project where I'm most involved in operations.
Okay, most involved, And Paytion is more, in my opinion, Paytion, because I didn't know about the white label thing. I thought it's more of a consumer-facing app. So can you tell me a bit of like the difference between two? I know they're both. I mean, I understand the difference a little bit, but maybe like maybe you can share how you transfer sort of from one to another. Why not just invest in one?
Basically I was trying to like unite everything in one company when xPaid, but I was not able to do this because if your marketing guy has to think of many things at the same time, he's not performing.
That's true.
When the same with development, right?
Yeah.
Like if you focus on too many things, it becomes expensive.
True.
And if you don't start monetizing something at the from the first day,
Yeah.
then you got into troubles.
Of course.
So xPaid, it just I found this product market fit,
Yeah, exactly.
and I decided just to stick to this product market fit. And
Okay.
main thing which we are doing is we are working either with companies or high net worth individuals.
Yeah.
So we work both B2B and B2C. But when it goes to individuals, we work only with rich people, which has
Yeah.
like a huge average
High
check.
net worth, yeah.
Yeah, and it makes life simpler because I don't market myself as a retail company. Never. Like I don't use any
Yeah.
advertisement placement where
Yeah.
I will work with people who will exchange 50 euros.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm doing, I'm like a VIP bank
Yep.
department, like branch.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
people come to me, they want some dedicated manager who will help them to open the crypto-friendly
Yeah.
IBAN,
Yeah.
open the wallet,
Yeah.
exchange everything, and then they will use this IBAN, let's say, to buy property
Yeah.
somewhere
Exactly.
in
It's like a
UK.
private banking kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a kind of, you're right. A kind of like private banking.
Okay.
And people don't really want even a banking card because
Really?
they do payment.
Oh, just transfers.
Yeah, and it's
America.
huge. Like usually they send like 500,000 or something, and they don't require the card.
Yeah, they don't need it.
And I decided just to keep it, expand it, and I'm growing all the time. And then when I acquired another company, I thought that this company will be like at some point maybe it will become one or something. But anyway, I will use the technologies.
Yeah.
It would be like another step for xPaid to launch the app
yeah.
and the card. But now I'm not not sure. I'm not launching the application with xPaid.
Yeah.
But I have application in Paytion.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking that either I have to go retail or B2B.
Yeah.
White label model. And since I had some experience not successful working in retail,
Yeah.
I decided that I will keep it only as
B2B, like
as
white label.
yeah, white
Yeah.
label, because then you need just a business developer
Exactly,
in your
yeah.
team and good technology, and that's it. And then you can expand. Like
Yeah.
you don't and you don't even have those unit economy there, because
Exactly,
the leads are mostly cheap. Everything depends on how talented your
yeah.
business developer is.
Lifetime value is longer as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like the lifetime value is longer, but also because your customers comes to you for everything later,
Yeah. Exactly.
and that's why I have a small consultancy company in
Yeah.
Poland.
The upsales. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's for upsales.
Amazing.
And I have a profitable business. I started a new company which is a consultancy.
Yeah.
We help with compliance, with
Fintech
acquiring-
capital, right?
Fintech capital,
Yeah.
and it's also profitable business.
Yeah.
But it was a part of this upsales for Paytion and mostly for Paytion, because xPaid
Yeah.
usually not. But for Paytion, yes, because they got the software.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, can you help me to connect the liquidity provider?" I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, of course." "Can you help me to get a card program?
Yeah.
Can you do something else?
Yeah.
Can you help with KYC provider?"
So a
I
lot
was
of
like,
stuff on top.
yeah, and at some point I said, I don't have time, so let
Yeah,
me. I
it's a higher
started the company. I found a business partner who became my CEO and
Yeah.
the manager,
Yeah.
and he's managing the company in like
Amazing.
day to day. And I have just one weekly call, like one call per week with him, and
That's amazing.
that's all I spent there. Yeah.
That sounds perfect. That sounds like too good to be true. One call per week. It's amazing.
Yeah, but a lot of I had extensive experience
Yeah.
when I was learning a lot, reading a lot of books, failing. So it
Yeah.
already came off all of
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Now I use I have
Makes sense.
I use a lot of planners. I have Asana, I have Slack, I have Pipe Drive. Everything is in place.
Yeah.
People are communicating because
Makes
I
sense.
didn't know that before. So
Yeah.
I did a huge way, and
Yeah.
now I'm able to have 1 week
Yeah.
one call per week, because I know how to manage
Yeah.
everything.
Set up the system already.
Yeah, and I can check the tasks. Sometimes I can leave something, but I don't have to talk to people already that much.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Okay, I think just the last question on this part is why not B2C? So you mentioned you had some experience, didn't work too well. Why do you think is that? Is it because like well, for us we are also B2B, and for us like we like in our business, like going B2C just it kind of simply doesn't exist. But some of our like partners, they work in B2C, and it's very tricky because first of all, yeah, unit economy is very tricky one, and also the kind of like the consumer behavior is very unclear for me. In B2B, it's like super clear. Why do you think like why you chose B2B over B2C?
So I think to be honest, B2C is it's it could actually bring more money at the end, right, to your company. And it's something more even powerful, I would say, because you have a kind of community like Apple, right?
Yeah.
They sell phones and other gadgets to people, and they have this huge community. And I know when they can start they can become a country, and they would have already the citizens.
That's true.
Yes, and they can vote for them. They can go on the street I'm sure if they say something to people, and they would go on the street.
Of course, yeah.
So you have some power behind you when you work retail. When it's B2B, it's just the company, like if someone gives better service and cheaper, probably they would go there.
Yeah.
So you don't have that thing. And with Apple, you see, we're all not satisfied with their phones for the last 5 years, and I still use it because it's like a system and stuff. Yeah, and I still use it, and I want to use Red Android, which is folding and because it's convenient, but still I cannot change because. So I'm a community part of community.
Sure.
So business same, but it requires more investments.
Yeah.
It's more risky. You have to think of a lot of additional things because like branding, how people see you, and I think I'm just I'm not ready to risk that much because I tried. And in retail, you have to invest a lot of money in marketing, right? Because a lot of people have to see you.
Yeah.
And I was investing in marketing when I was trying to launch my own app.
Yeah.
I had some MVP and it was not working. I tried something else, not working, and it was my money. So I spent more than 100,000 euros on the project, and I closed it because I understood that I don't want to do this.
Makes sense.
So I think it's just about the investments. If you have the investments and you are ready to devote them to find the positive this unit economy, of course you can go. But if you want to go more safe, B2B is the answer. Yeah, right. Because you talk to one person, you agree, and then you might have a contract which will cover your expenses for half a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is the thing. But I want to go retail at some point. Yeah. Of course, I want to have that community, that power, and you feel the brand. When if it's B2B, you could earn a lot of money, but no one knows even you because it's some company which is doing some components for I don't know for some cars, and no one knows about you. But if it's retail, you can feel it,
customer loyalty.
And it gives it gives you personality, something like you feel bigger or something. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because I'm literally the same as you. I'm like really excited about retail space in general, but I'm not ready to go there yet because it just requires so much testing, essentially, like testing of different hypotheses. And when I'm talking to B2C founders, they tell that they spend their whole pre-seed round on just testing what works and what not. That's like huge amounts of money. So I'm also like 100% like on the B2B side here with you.
And when you start earning money from, because B2B is a bit faster,
of course,
like you feel already like you
volumes,
and you feel it, you see it, and you are satisfied, you are like motivated. But as you said, when you are testing something, you may fail, and then you need to raise another round or something, and you are demotivated because you fail, and not everyone can overcome this demotivation. So you also have probably be prepared here to that, and B2B doesn't require that much psychological stuff.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's true. Talking to this part, what was your, out of all those ventures, what was like the biggest challenge that you saw in general from like the very beginning to like today? Like what was your biggest challenge, would you say?
I think when I was starting, because it's a new sector, it's fintech, I didn't know anything, and you don't have too much information about how fintech works
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
Like how you literally you have a license, what do next? There is
Yeah.
no too much information.
True.
And it was a challenge because when you want to start e-commerce business, there are so many stuff, even
Yeah.
courses.
Of
Like
course.
you can buy a course for $100, and you know what websites in China to Google, where to get your cups, how to deliver, and so on and so on.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, in fintech it doesn't. You don't have it. You don't have courses. People don't teach you how to start bands.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
like
true.
there is no courses, and
Yeah.
because there are not too many buyers, and it was a huge challenge actually. And I was learning from lawyers because lawyers were like I was coming as a customer.
Yeah.
But at the beginning I knew that I would not buy anything. I was trying to get information because they know it.
Makes sense.
I was coming to some fintech guys, but mostly they are like super close. They don't share information with you because they doesn't want competitors.
Yeah.
So it was a huge challenge.
Yeah.
And then when I understood already some logic how it works, it became already easier.
Yeah.
But at that point it was, and also I was when I studied xPaid.
Yeah.
I was growing slowly, and at some point everything dropped down because I had a part of revenue from Ukraine, and in Ukraine they prohibited crypto.
Yeah.
And I was not crypto, but the payment providers which were processing payments, and I lost everything, like all the revenue. I mean. And I even have it in my like finance. You know? I have it like this, and then and then csearching for another. You know, another, because in Ukraine I had some history already, but in Europe it's huge, and people don't trust you. And I was struggling for a year to become profitable again, because xPaid was not profitable for a year, and like in general, 1 year 7 months I was not profitable. So it was a challenge also to find some money to feed, you know, into my company. But again, I have a tattoo here. It says Trust Life.
Oh, nice.
And the meaning of this tattoo is that if you have a goal, usually the path, the way to this goal is not what we expected. And sometimes it's fine, sometimes it goes down, and then you're ready to give up here. But this is just the way. This is just the way it is, because we could set the goal. But because the life is, you know, it changes. Like we don't control it. The way to this goal could be different. And that I remember it was difficult to continue growing the company because it was not profitable. I did this tattoo to remember that at some point I will get to this point. And then after a few months already I found this product market fit, and now it's growing.
That's
and
amazing. That's a good idea. I should take a note on that. That's a good idea. That's perfect. Okay, the next question is, let's like very briefly touch upon this bit. So you had an exit. This is something that not a lot of founders achieve in their roadmap of life in general. Can you share in 2 words like how that happened, how you came to this, and like how did it feel in general, like having an exit, because it's very significant achievement.
So not many people knows about that, and when I moved to Europe 3 years ago, I started a company to process the payments in Poland, and then after 2 years of when I started, after some time, I sold it. And it's, and not too many people knows about that, because it was not really, again, I had few customers which were giving me the volumes, and I don't need to market, because it's also B2B. So that's why I was telling you that sometimes you can do some volumes, but no one even
knows.
You don't know. No one recognizes you, something like no one has the idea about this. So at some point, just it became too difficult in Poland to have such a company because of the regulation. They changed the regulation, and this is the tricky part about fintech. You depends on regulation.
True.
And you probably don't have that much in I don't know, construction or something. But in fintech, you like they each 3 months they have something new. And if you, let's say, don't earn enough from your transactions.
Yeah.
Because of a new way of checking the customer, checking the transaction, your business could become it's not profitable anymore. So you have to do something with that.
That's true.
So the regulation changed. I started spending too much money on papers. And I understood that I don't want to continue that business anymore because it's something which I'm not ready to do, in my life, because I had xPaid at the time, which was more exciting.
Already more,
Yeah, and I decided that I will sell the company.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't know anything about this, and I was at the event in Davos, World Economic Forum.
Nice. Yeah, Switzerland,
and I met my friend who invited me there. He introduced me to another friend, and he had M&A this platform, so he helps to sell companies.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we started talking, and then later we had a call, and I told him that, hey, listen, I have this company and I want to sell it, and it's good company, but I just don't have energy, to do it.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, okay, like I know where to take it. And so he's like a broker, like mediator.
Broker,
And in a few months he found a buyer. I said the super high price.
Yeah.
Like very high. It was 5 times more than I invested.
Okay.
And then he comes back and he says, yeah, they agree.
Didn't even negotiate.
They didn't negotiate. But what's more, he added quite a huge percentage on top for him. Like it's not typical for the market what he added. Yeah, it's very, very not typical for the market. And they decided to buy it. And there was a huge financial group.
Yeah.
And so we signed the agreement that they are ready to buy. They showed me source of funds, everything. And I almost lost the deal because of the accounting company.
Really?
The accounting company was not giving me the some papers how my company performed, and the Polish company, and they disappeared. And
the buyers or
the accounting company. And then there was some old woman, and then again she appeared, and she was not giving me what I want.
Yeah.
And she was living somewhere far away from the capital. My employee found that company, and indeed, like I remember that the buyer told me, like, if you don't, because it's been like 2 months since I was struggling after signing this SPI agreement, and I remember the buyer tells me, like, if you don't give us this paper in 1 week, we will close the deal.
That's suspicious.
Because they say it's suspicious.
I mean,
and I'm explaining. I'm talking to this broker. I said, like, listen, like there is no problems in my company, because he said maybe you have some problems. I said no, it's just accounting is a stupid person. And I don't even know where they live because I was going to drive there. And then I called her and I said, like, listen, give me your address. I will come and we will talk. I will explain you because I have like important deal. She said no, I never meet anyone. And she was just dropping
crazy.
It was crazy. I almost lost the deal because of accounting, but finally then like I was pushing every day, like all day, all week long. I was thinking only about her, the woman, and calling her and texting, and finally she gave me this paper, and I got the deal. So I sold the company. I remembered when we, they came to Poland, we signed the agreement, and I still have a picture, by the way, where we are staying with my partners and my employee, and we are like super happy because while we were preparing the deal, it's been like 5 months, already. Stressful, but the regulation also changed, and they again required more and more. And at that point, I realized that it's getting even more crazy, and I was even more stressed because of that, because I thought, if something goes wrong, I would probably already close this company because it became super difficult. Or I have to raise the investments. But thanks God, everything was fine, and I got my money, and it was my exit.
That's great. How are they doing now? Do you know? Or?
Good. I actually did intro them. I helped them because I helped them in Poland. I did intro to another group. They already cooperate, so it goes well. they're
Cool.
satisfied. Yeah.
Man, that's amazing story. I'm really excited now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask like a pretty general question. So in London, for instance, like again, fintech is the most investable thing. Like the most of like venture funding goes into
Awesome.
fintechs here. Yeah, especially with crypto, it's like huge growth, ultra growth. What's the secret to this? Like, why is it like the fastest growing industry?
So because so we have people on Earth, right?
Yeah,
And we have relationships between each other. So we are social creatures.
yeah,
And nowadays, the best way to interact between each other is money,
yeah,
because it's there is no mediators. Like I
yeah,
can do whatever I want with you with money. I can buy something,
yeah.
I can hire you, I can get a credit from you or something. So it's all about the relationships.
True.
But it's very understandable for because you can help me and expect something, and
Yeah.
I don't know how much value you put in this
Yeah.
help. I could estimate that it's something small, and for
Yeah.
you it could be something big.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
with girlfriend, when we have a dinner with her, you think it's something small,
Yeah,
and then you don't pay attention to her, and then in a week she's like super angry, and she
Yeah.
thinks you are idiot, because
Yeah.
for her this help was like or
Big
this
deal.
evening it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have this communication
That's a
because
good
of that.
comparison.
But money, it's never like this.
Yeah.
If it's 10 pounds, it's 10 pounds
Yeah.
for all
Universal.
of us. Yeah, it's universal.
That's true.
So I think that's why it's popular, because money, it's about interactions between
Yeah.
people, and you basically the market, this total addressable market
Yeah.
in fintech. I think it's the entire
that's
world
economy.
the economy.
That's true.
The entire because you have those tom tom sum and
Yeah,
how
exactly.
you calculate the market. So I think that this total, it's everything. So
Yeah.
it means that it's easier for you to pivot sometimes, because you have a lot of ability
Yeah.
there. And that's why like mobility market is huge, right?
Yeah.
Cars
Yeah, that's
and
true.
bikes and something like that.
Yeah.
The real estate is huge.
Yeah.
But fintech is bigger.
Yeah. It's like everything.
Yeah, it's like it's everything. So that's why it's attractive, because if you find something,
Yeah.
you add some services or something, you can become huge even if you're not a bank.
Yeah. That's
like
true.
like Stripe,
Yeah.
they process the
Just
payment.
processing.
Yeah, it's huge. They're really huge.
That's
Or like Revolut, right? That's like one of the most successful also examples. They didn't have the app.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry, the app, the bank.
Yeah,
They
the bank,
just
yeah,
it
yeah.
was just the app. Or Vice, when they started, they didn't have any serious license. They
Yeah.
were renting the ability to issue IBANs from banks.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's it. And they became huge, successful without having those licenses.
Yeah.
So in fintech, you have ability to to grow, and it's
Scale.
unlimited. I think, yeah.
That's a great answer. That's a great one. Okay, so my next question is on also like the growth aspect. So fintech is like ultra growth. It's like super huge growth. In such a high like paced environment, how do you manage like technical teams, especially because you also touched a bit on development, that it's tricky in general, and it's very tricky to do a few things, not to focus on something specific. And when it comes to fintech, it's like extremely quick. How do you sort of manage teams in this kind of situation?
So I was lucky to have a CTO as my business partner.
Okay.
Without him, I would struggle, and maybe this struggling would become a failure eventually. So I would not manage, to come to the point I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky, but I would not say lucky. Because the first I talked to him, and then we decided to start the company. So
Okay.
I understood that I need someone technical in my team, because
Yeah.
I didn't have that much experience, and I was good in sales.
Yeah.
And I think the combination of like there are two good combinations. One, the sale guy and technical guy.
Yeah.
And another is a sale guy and operations guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not into operations too much.
Yeah,
And
me neither.
It's difficult, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes operation could, even you can attract the customer and you can lose it during your work. It's fine
Yeah.
if you sell enough.
Yeah.
Because there are 8 billion people, so you don't have really care about. You have to care more about sales than the
That's true.
operations.
Yeah. Always.
But then it was in my company less than a year ago, when operations became more important than sales.
Yeah.
That I don't have already. I would have more and more and more leads.
And then, yeah. Okay.
Now I have to already work on operations.
Yeah.
And I hired at that point already I didn't have that one, so I hired the COO,
Yeah.
which was my director, and he helped me. Still helps me a lot with setting up the processes in company. So coming back to this CTO, he covered me with everything.
Okay.
I was not choosing the technology because he knew that.
Yeah.
I was not hiring people, and I shared with you he brought all his friends already to our company.
Yeah.
And literally, like, I guess a month ago it was a limit already. He doesn't have any more new and old friends.
Yeah.
So we will have to already hire from the market or go to the companies like yours and get some assistant with the development, which we're gonna do because we came to this point.
Yeah.
But it's tough because before I had also the technological project. I had a platform in Ukraine. I developed by myself actually on WordPress.
Yeah.
I developed a platform where you can post your project and help and find the investor.
Nice. Amazing.
And I created MVP, and then later I raised $70,000 in Ukraine from the angel.
Cool.
And I was going to redo everything on another the domain, not on WordPress. And I failed because I was hiring people.
Yeah.
And they were disappearing because sometimes with technical the people, they are creative or something. I don't know how to call it.
Yeah.
But you hire and they disappear.
Exactly.
And then after 2 weeks they are again. Hello, sorry, I had some.
Were they freelancers?
Like even inside the company. So sometimes it's very risky to go by yourself and form the team if you don't have enough experience. If you're not CTO.
True. Yeah.
So when in my case, he was in charge and he knew how to communicate with them.
Yeah.
Me not. So in my case, if I raise the investments, better to go to outsource, get a company which will help you to do everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think it's much better, even if you pay more. It will cover your risk, which I had. They disappear. I hired another one, and I actually spent that 70,000 and didn't come to a successful project. So I failed. Yeah.
Got it.
And one of the reasons was that I spent too much on IT, and not because I was building something, but because I was starting again and again with different
matching
people.
With Exactly, because that's like literally the reason we started, because the cost of like hiring mistake is too high. You can like break your startup with the wrong people, and that's our concept. Like you need to get matched with like the actual people, but you need some system to manage it, because yourself, if you're like first time founder or even not a first time founder, and especially if you don't have a CTO, it's like crazy. It's crazy heavy for the founder. So.
So what you are doing, it's very useful, and you definitely have this, a lot of advantages, like thinking with people, talking with people, organizing them. Sometimes you don't have to do full time, and you can decide with hours. So you are flexible, and it could, and you can plan. You can plan these budgets, and if you have some budget, especially you raise the money.
Exactly.
You can plan it, and it's more clear for you, because then if you do it by yourself, some CTO comes and which you hired, and he tell you, oh no, we have to do this and this and this and this, and he will earn the money. But he will build something which is heavy, and you don't even need it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
no, that's 100% true. Okay, I think just 2 questions, and I will quickly wrap up. So I think the number one is, you're very active on social media, and for founders that did a couple projects, maybe it's just my wrong opinion, but I think they would rather a lot of founders, they would rather go in the shadow. You're on the other side, are out there, exposure on the media, which is really good. What's your main motivation to like keep sort of growing, and in a sense as a like person and media wise? Like, what's the main motivation that like kind of stays you in there?
So I have a simple answer that if you have Alex, which is doing media, and then you have another Alex, which is not doing media but has same businesses, I will win this Alex who doesn't have social media, because I have more exposure. I have more trust from customers who wants to check me, from partners, from anyone. And if you have same parameters,
Yeah.
I will win that guy.
Yeah.
So this is the first answer.
That's
That
great.
if you are not doing social media,
Yeah.
someone who is doing will win you.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a very good question.
And I felt it. Like I literally, like I have some people who were similar and to what I'm doing, were doing similar to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they were shadow, as you said.
Yeah.
And some big B2B contracts, some
Yeah.
people were coming to me and saying, like, listen, I want to work with you because I see that you are active, I see
Yeah.
what you are doing, I have some trust, let's work together.
Yeah.
So
That's a great
I think
answer.
this is the answer. And
Yeah.
my social media is for business. So
Yeah.
so it's the direct way to
Yeah.
to your customers, to your partners, to trust. And I save also, in my case, I also save not save even, but my page on Instagram
Yeah.
is one of the lead generation channels.
Main channels. Yeah.
Yeah, for my marketing guy.
That's amazing.
It's actually the third biggest, and
That's great.
but if I count videos which I do on podcast and stuff,
Yeah.
then it's even the second biggest. So
amazing.
it also, and it's cheap because I mean, of course, I spend my time,
Yeah.
but if for my company it's cheap because
Yeah.
they don't pay me for
And
that.
long term, it makes sense. Yeah.
And it makes sense, but at the same time it's not cheap for me, but I have another advantage. I get publicity,
Yeah. Exactly.
and I build my PR,
Yeah.
and because of that, so we have those win-win situations with
Yeah.
my company. They use me for lead generation, and I use this for PR.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Okay, just two more, and
Sure.
we'll finalize. So the next one, what's up about Porsche? A lot of you're a
Yeah.
big lover of Porsche, and I know a lot of founders who are somehow specifically are into Porsche. I'm myself I'm the BMW guy. I really like the BMW. Been driving it since like I got the license.
You like to drive is fun because I
Yeah.
think this is the motto of BMW. Like drive is fun.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, exactly. And when I changed a couple models, but I'm like really into BMW, maybe some other models, but a lot of founders are into Porsche, but you are specifically into Porsche.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So it was not the love from the first sight,
Okay.
because when I saw Porsche 911, I
Yeah.
didn't like the design with this huge lights.
Yeah.
It's like, it looks a bit like a frog,
Yeah.
like a frog, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But then I was driving. I had a test drive of
Yeah.
Porsche
911.
in Poland, 911.
Okay.
3 years ago, and then when I tried the technology
Yeah.
which is inside, I was impressed.
Okay.
Because Porsche, it's actually it's a supercar,
Yeah.
911.
Yeah.
Especially some turbo models or GT, it's a real supercar.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it's not like
Mhm.
Lamborghini or
Yeah. It looks more
Ferrari,
modest. Yeah.
so it's more like everyday car.
Yeah.
And that's why you when you see it for the first time, you didn't feel everything, so you don't really think that it's something like you want something. If you do your exit,
Yeah.
you want of course Ferrari or something, because
Yeah.
it attracts attention, and then it's fun, and it's powerful.
Yeah.
But but it's not really. If I mean those are powerful cars, but Porsche, it's this technology. And when I was driving different models, I loved what
Yeah.
they have inside. And for me, it's like I give the example all the time that imagine you have a favorite book,
Yeah.
and you have the author, right,
Mhm.
who wrote it, and you like to read it, you like to
Yeah.
explore this, what's behind, and you spend some time, and you like the author as well. So imagine that you have a book which was written by 4,000 engineers, but like best engineers
Okay.
in the world.
Yeah.
They were developing during last 70 years the car,
Yeah.
this book, and which you can read.
Yeah.
And can you imagine this masterpiece where thousands of people were working on this?
Yeah.
But best people, because
Yeah.
the Porsche, they can
Porsche
hire
is
like best people.
Yeah.
And then you sit in the car and you start reading this book.
Yeah,
You
okay.
start
Check it
learning
out.
how what's
Yeah.
the chapters, and then next chapter is I go on this car on the track.
Yeah.
Next chapter I go with this car on
Yeah.
Italy on the trip. So you
That's
have those
cool.
chapters.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like this. It's like the book,
Yeah.
and that's why I decided to start with from the beginning,
Yeah.
and I have a 924 version,
Okay.
which is 44 years old right now. I
Wow.
renewed this Porsche,
That's amazing.
and I decided to start from the old
Yeah.
and simple version
Towards the new
and
one.
collect it, and step
Yeah.
by step go to something more advanced.
New. Yeah.
And Porsche gives this ability because they have this long history.
Yeah, exactly.
They have the technology. They have those like beautiful cars, and then step by step, I want just to come to 911
Yeah.
and feel already the modern technology, this beast inside. But
Yeah.
I think that when you drive it, you because I was driving Lamborghini and Ferrari,
Yeah.
and I don't feel that what I feel in Porsche.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like
Yeah.
this philosophy. That's
Yeah.
great. That's perfect. And just the last one, I think. So first of all, I'm really glad to say that we'll be working on the matter of Afixpay with you.
Yeah.
That's very. I'm very happy about it because I love the project. We've been talking about it for quite a while with you. So it's a long story behind it. Yeah. Tell maybe as a kind of wrap up sentence. What's the next step for you? What's the plan with Afixpay? Where are you heading at the moment in your career?
So I have some news even from yesterday that
Yeah.
Afixpay will become a sponsor of a football club, Barnes
Really?
Football Club here.
Okay.
Yes,
Interesting.
I was yesterday in
That's
Barnes area,
okay.
and there is a football club
Yeah.
which was founded in 1856.
Yeah.
So it's almost 200 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it was for some reasons it was closed, and then one guy, he decided to start the
Okay.
club, reopen everything. So I was introduced to this guy yesterday, and I have a lot of connections which can help him, and even I have some interest. I told him, if you want to go ambitious,
Yeah.
I can become a partner
Yeah.
or something, a joint venture.
Okay.
If you don't want to, I'm not getting involved. And he told me his story. Like, he
Yeah.
wants to go to the league because now
Okay.
they're not playing there. He wants to get best people and stuff. And I said,
Yeah.
okay, then if you are ready to sign this, your
Yeah.
plan for 5 years and prove it,
Yeah.
then I will help you with this.
Okay.
And he said, yes, I can do this. Everything we agreed. And to start with something, I became a sponsor.
Okay.
And they will basically put the company name, everything.
Yeah, banners and all.
They have the building at Barnes area.
Amazing.
They will put the banner there.
Yeah.
They will be inviting me to their networking events, and
Amazing.
so Afixpay already.
That's a good news.
I founded the company, and
Yeah.
I didn't raise yet, but I already
Yeah.
became a sponsor.
Yeah.
But because we have barter, so I don't spend too much,
makes
and
sense.
there are some money, but not too much. I can I can do this from my pocket, but it's already will give me some good networking opportunities.
Yeah.
And my plan is actually to settle here with this company. I have a
Yeah.
partner who is CEO. I want to take him to London. He will stay here.
Amazing.
We want to close a round, partner with Visa and MasterCard,
Yeah.
and help to develop their card programs.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of problems which not they have themselves, but their principal members.
Yeah.
And I know how to solve it with the technology, with AI as well.
Yeah.
And we already created this MVP and started doing revenue, and I just want to expand. And I think UK, as we were talking, is the best place for such a
fintechs.
project.
Yep.
And I hope in 1 year, I'll close the round and we will cooperate here.
Of course.
And you will become a part of developing this technology.
Of course, yeah. Hopefully sooner.
We'll hope in maximum in 1 year we'll already come to the point where we'll be changing already how the principal members works, and try to make the cards more easier to launch.
That's amazing. Well, that's exciting. Super excited for this project. I think that's about it. Thank you everyone who was watching us. I'll leave all the links to all the social media and links to the companies in the description to check out. And Alex, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for inviting.